Hi guys, so today we are going to be talking about dog-puppy interactions. We're going to be talking about the three main categories that I get questions in, which would be how to introduce your new puppy to your adult dog, how to manage an adult dog with a puppy in the household, or a puppy with an adult dog usually, and what does good dog-puppy play look like. We're going to look at all three of those, but first we are going to um, look at and how to introduce your new puppy to your adult dog. So whenever I have a puppy, when I'm bringing home a new puppy at a young age, like 8 weeks old, I like to let him get accustomed to the house first. So that way we're not putting a whole bunch of new things on him all at once by him meeting the new dog, meeting the new house, meeting all these new people. I like to just have the other dog in a back room or in his crate and bring the puppy into the house first and let him get used to the smells, get used to the new environment, get used to the new feel, and kind of just get comfortable with it. Maybe 15-20 minutes, just depending on the puppy, kind of get a good feel for the house. And then I'm going to introduce him to the new dog, or to the dog you already own. So I like to do this really gradually. I like to have the older dog smell the puppy through like a gate or his crate door. So I would put the puppy in a crate or behind a gate and bring the adult dog out and let him sniff the puppy, just in a way, you know, that they don't have to actually interact, but they can still get accustomed to each other's scents. And then I like to do the official greetings outside. This can be if your adult dog is puppy safe and he loves puppies, then you can easily do this in your backyard because a young puppy is not going to have any issues with an adult dog. It's usually the other way around. So just if you're confident in your dog that he's great with puppies, then I would just do it in your backyard or front yard or whatever, and just either have them both on leash or if they're both on leash, be careful not to make them greet head on because that can be confrontational for dogs. I would definitely let them greet from the side. You can also let the puppy off leash and have the adult dog on, like dragging lead, just in case you need to intervene quickly. But just to make it look really low key and relaxed. If you're just not quite sure if your adult dog is super puppy friendly, you're just not quite sure. Take them on a co-walk. So basically what this is going to look like is go down, put them both on leashes, have one person to each dog, and just take them down the street, let them walk, and kind of let them see each other from the opposite side of the road, and then slowly walk on the same side of the road or whatever you feel like you need to do in the moment, and just gradually bring it in where they're more on a neutral territory, and it's just a little bit more of a casual meeting that way. So those are my main tips for introducing a puppy to an adult dog. The next question is how to manage a puppy, an adult, or senior in the same household. So basically, you have two scenarios here. Either the puppy is overexcited or it's the adult dog who is overexcited and overwhelming the puppy. So for the overexcited puppy who might be pestering the adult or senior, definitely want to make sure that the puppy's needs are met. So you need to make sure that he's getting adequate sleep. Puppies can sleep like 18 to 20 hours a day. Young puppies, you need to make sure he's getting adequate sleep, or he's going to be more nippy and more spastic and stuff. You also need to make sure that he's getting enough exercise. Obviously, if he's not getting enough exercise, he's really going to want to play with the other dog, and that might just be too much. So make sure he's getting plenty of exercise. Obviously, food, water, those types of things all play a part. Then you're just going to have to set some boundaries. We're not going to let the puppy pester the adult dog until he is just totally overwhelmed. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let the puppy bully the adult dog. So this might look like whenever the puppy starts to kind of bug the adult and the adult gives a warning growl, because that's okay. I don't mind if an adult dog kind of gives a warning growl, like, okay, leave me alone now. If the puppy keeps pestering him, if you don't intervene, the adult dog is going to eventually have to lash out at him, and that is not the best scenario. We really don't want that. We want to intervene before the adult dog has to cut it off, So that's a boundary. When the adult dog says, "Hey, I'm done with this," the puppy needs to leave. He needs to go with you. He needs to go do something else. He needs to go chew on a bone. Maybe he needs to go have some crate time. Whatever, however it works best for you. You just no. He needs to do something else. Leave the other dog alone. He has to learn that. That's part of his social skills learn that he needs to learn. Not all puppies are born with super great social skills, and some of them we have to help teach them how to do that. And then creating safe times for the adult dog or senior. So basically having times where maybe you put the adult dog behind a gate in the bedroom or something, and he can just chill out there. He doesn't have to worry about the puppy being around. He can just not, just rest and have a break. The way I really recommend raising puppies and how I raise my puppies is the first couple of months they spend most of their time either on a tether or in their crate or on a leash attached to me. And I do that for potty training purposes. I do it for general house training purposes, house manners. But it's also really helpful if you're also trying to teach a puppy proper manners around another dog, because then he's not running the house. He's not pestering the adult all the time because he's with you or he's confined somehow. So this isn't as big of an issue if you follow those instructions I laid out in the potty training web class, but it still needs to be worked through, obviously. And you're going to have to focus on teaching the puppy proper manners. This would be things like a leave it. This would be things like relaxing around the other dog, being calm, being more focused on you and his toys and things. Those are things that are really going to be helpful teaching him how to behave around the other dog. So for the overexcited adult who's overwhelming a puppy, the tips are basically all the same, but they're just tweaked a little bit different to fit an adult dog instead of a puppy. So obviously we're going to make sure the adult dog's needs are met. Adult dogs don't have to sleep as much as puppies do, but they still sleep a lot. They need exercise just like puppies, even more sometimes than depending on the age of your puppy, and the age of your adult for that matter. And they need their needs met. You need to set boundaries for the adult dog, just like you would the puppy. If he starts to try to play with the puppy and the puppy is like, "Hey, I'm overwhelmed," he's giving that overwhelmed body language and he's trying to leave or whatever, the adult dog needs to stop. He needs to quit. He needs to leave the puppy alone. He needs to go do something else, chew on a bone, go outside and run around in the yard or something like that. He needs to leave the puppy alone. Create safe times for the puppy. Obviously, if the puppy's on the tether system, then you might have to also put the adult dog away certain times during the day so that way he's not pestering the puppy. He might need to go on a tether too, just depending on the circumstance. That's not out of the question. And the puppy needs to have times when he is, or it's not always, "Oh, is the adult dog coming around? Is he coming around?" He needs to feel safe. And focus on teaching the adult dog manners. Again, it would be leave it or relaxing calmly around the puppy, learning to not play with the puppy every single time you see them. Those types of things. Just, again, it's kind of social skills. Again, you got to teach the adult dog to respect the puppy's space, especially if he gives off body language like, "I'm overwhelmed." He needs to give him a break. So dog to puppy play. Got some questions on this. Basically, the whole point of dog play is that they're that everybody involved is having fun. So if somebody's not having fun, whether it's the adult dog or the puppy, then it's not true play. It's not good play. And something needs to change because it's supposed to be fun. And we're going to talk about a few things to help you be able to recognize what good play looks like. So the first thing about good play is self-handicapping. And I'm going to have some play examples in a little bit to kind of demonstrate some of these points. But self-handicapping would be when a dog makes it easier for the other dog to tackle him, kind of. So this would be like lowering his head to the ground or even flopping over on his side completely. It makes him it puts him at the disadvantage, basically, but he's doing on purpose. It's not the other dog body slamming him down. It's he's willingly throwing himself on the ground for the good of the game. We want to see role reversal when our dogs are playing. So we don't want to see one dog who's always on the bottom. We want to see where they switch back and forth. We want to see where the one who was on the bottom before gets up and is on top now, and they're just going back and forth because it's a game. It's not a real fight, because when dogs play, it's like play fighting. And so a lot of the, you know, a lot of their body language and everything is like really relaxed fighting, sort of. But in a good play situation, the roles are reversed. In an actual real fight, one dog is on top of the other dog and they're getting them down. But we don't want to see that. We want to see frequent breaks. So this would be maybe even 2 to 3 second breaks. This could be 15-second breaks depending on the dogs and depending on how they're playing. So it could just be just a quick break where everybody just stops for a second to make sure we're all on the same page, and then we go back to playing again. It helps keep the arousal levels down. It helps make sure everybody's still having fun. Those are dogs who have good social skills frequently break. And then low arousal levels. We don't want to have anyone who's like super, super high arousal, and because that is going to lead, almost certainly is going to lead to a fight, not a play fight. And so we want to make sure those arousal levels are low, and if they start to escalate, then we need to break them up and say we need to take a break from play, because if you have high arousal levels, you're probably not going to have role reversal, and you might have role reversal depending, but you're probably not having frequent breaks, which is important. So what makes not ideal play would be no breaks. So they're just constantly playing. That's a good recipe for getting on each other's nerves, basically. So excessive pinning down. We don't want to see where one dog is being pinned down, especially by the throat, excessively. You know, obviously pinning back and forth, the whole role reversal thing. But if one is on the ground all the time, that's not a good situation. We don't want to see high arousal levels. We just talked about that. And we do not want to see tensed or stressed body language. So tense might be kind of this really going at it. You don't want to see where both dogs are kind of just tense and they're going at it. They're kind of getting high arousal. It's starting to turn into not so much play. Stressed body language would be more like maybe overwhelmed. One of the dogs overwhelmed, usually the one on the bottom. They're kind of a little overwhelmed. They're kind of stressed. They're really not having fun anymore. It's starting to become a little bit more of a, I really just want to get out of here. We don't want to see those. That's not good play. Obviously, just because you see that doesn't mean a fight's about to happen. It could be. But that's a good sign that something in the play needs to change. So I have some examples of play, and I think hopefully the videos come through okay on this video. So here's the first example of play. We're going to see, you know, I'll try to talk through this while it's playing, and hopefully this all works and doesn't get all glitchy on me. So right there you see some self-handicapping where Jubes just falls over on her side. That's self-handicapping. She's letting the other dog get her. Now they're both just laying here. This is like really, really low arousal play. They're just almost, it's a very relaxed sort of play. This is the kind of play that I personally prefer to happen inside the house, not the running around crazy. I don't personally like that in my house. I'd rather that be outside. But this is just really low. She's self-handicapping again. Just really low arousal. They're not making a lot of verbalations. I don't know if you can hear verbalizations. I don't know if you can hear the audio or not, but they're not barking or anything. They're just pretty quiet. Okay, then this next video, we're gonna see. Okay, so you see, I'll bring it back a little bit. You see here, when the black dog jumps on Jubes, we see that she kind of is, and they're both on her at the same time. We're seeing that she's kind of, I'll bring it back again so you can see again. She's just slightly panicked a little bit. because having more than one dog on another dog isn't always bad. It doesn't have to be bad, but a lot of times it tends to um, stress the one who's on the bottom. So you just have to watch it extra close. So you see, she jumps on her. She's kind of throwing her head back and forth between because she's not sure who to get next. She didn't act stressed there to a point where I would step in, but she did. You just saw that little bit of that panic going like, wait, which way do I go? Which one do I get next? She, I was watching her body. I would definitely watch body language to that situation. And if they start to look stressed, then the play needs to change. Anyway, here's another example. Now they run right over the top of him, which is really rude. He did not appreciate that. Again, this is pretty low arousal play. Self-handicapping. And that kind of was this is a break. They're just taking a break right here. A longer break. They don't have to be that long in order to, be classified as a break. Now Willow handicap. So you see some role reversal going on. Because now Willow, she put herself on the bottom. Now they're both laying there. That's another break. They just took a really quick one. Now Jubes is on the bottom. And she's not really pinning her down by the neck, but she is kind of pinning her down just a little bit right there. Now she kind of leaves a little bit, which kind of puts a break in there. Because technically, at this point, she's starting to kind of have her down for a little while. It's not too much, but it's starting to get a little bit longer before they haven't reversed roles in a while. So that kicking, that back leg kicking, Jubes isn't doing it frantically, but if that's a sign, if the one on bottom starts kicking their back legs frantically like that, that can be the sign that they're getting stressed out. Jubes and Willow know each other really, really well, and they love each other. So things that they can do things to each other that would not be necessarily appropriate for another dog to do. Just like with people, we're okay with friends giving us a hug, but if a stranger, we may not be okay with that. So Willow has had Jubes on the ground for a while now, but Jubes is not acting stressed, so I'm not concerned. If it was, if they were not very familiar with each other, I might be more concerned, but I know they're great friends, so I'm not worried. Then they give a break, and Jubes gets up and she starts initiating. So another tip I wanted to bring out is if you're not sure if one dog is having fun or not, you're just like, well, I'm not sure. I know one is, but I'm not quite sure about the other one. Separate them for just a second, and then let them go, and see if that dog initiates play. Because if they don't initiate play, they probably weren't enjoying it. So here, we back up a little bit. Willow lets her up, and Jubes initiates the play. So obviously, even though Jubes is on the bottom for quite some time, she was good with it. And now they're reversing roles. So now Willow's on the bottom. And Jubes is really good. She has pretty good social skills with play, and she's really good about giving breaks. As you'll see, she's more frequent than Willow. Now they break. And this is a much longer break. She kind of knocks her down, but she can tell she didn't really appreciate that much. So she goes off to pester someone else. So this is an example of not really ideal play. You see that they're both on her. and she's having to really whirl around trying to fight both of them at the same time. Her tail is down, her body language is still loose, and her tail's not down all the time. So she's not like, it's not like she's not having fun at all, but it's not, you see her hackles are raised. She's not really loving the barking in her face. She's not really loving this play. It's not really her favorite. She's not totally overwhelmed, but it's because she knows both of these dogs. And she went ahead self-handicapped there. But she would rather just play with Willow, probably, if she had her choice. She would rather that Xerxes wasn't playing with her right now. She shakes off. It's just kind of a sign of, I'm not really having fun here. I'm kind of shaking that off. So this is an example of how you can have a dog play with a little bit more low arousal. This might be better. I kind of like doing this play. I love seeing a dog play this way because they're playing with the toy. I'll start back up again because I didn't say that at the beginning. So you see they're playing with the toy here. So that is a way they can play where it's not mouth-to-mouth combat all the time. They can actually play with the toy, play some keep away. It's just another form of play that I think is really great if you have multiple dogs to teach them how to play that way. You can play a little keep away right now. And it's just a great way to play. So I hope this has been helpful to you guys. Remember, if you have any comments, go ahead and throw them into the group, and I will see you guys later.